is your name, please?
My name is Marion Shearer.
My name is Marion Shearer.
My name is Marion Shearer.
Only one of these people is the real Marion Shearer. The other two are imposters and will try to fool this panel. Tom Poston, Peggy Cass, Johnny Carson, and Betty White on To Tell the Truth with your host, Bud Collier.
Thank you very much. And welcome once again to Tell the Truth, brought to you this week by Salem Cigarettes. Good evening, panel.
Hi, Bud.
Hey, Bud. Will you please open up your envelopes, take out your affidavit cards for the first time tonight, and follow along as I read from this first one. I, Marion Shearer, am a farmer. I work 263 acres, but my 100 acres of corn are my special pride and joy. I have won many trophies and ribbons with my prize corn, but the biggest win has always eluded me. This year, however, in competition with growers from all over the United States, as well as Canada, England, and South Africa, I won the title of Champion Corn Grower of the World. Signed, Marion Shearer. Now, panel, to help you with your questioning, I have here 3 ears of prize-winning corn. I'm going to pass it over to you. Ask you to pass it along among the others.
We have enough of it over here ourselves.
Well, Johnny may get some material from it. You can't tell. Pass it along down, will you? I want Tom to look at it, especially because he's going to start off the questioning here. So take a good look at it. And you heard these 3 persons, all claiming to be Marion Shearer, champion corn grower. So if you got a good look, Tom, will you start with the questioning, please?
Mr. Shearer, number 1, Mary, number 1, what kind of corn is this here, right here?
That's yellow corn.
You should see it. It is so yellow. Number 2, can you give another name possibly for it?
Well, it's Iowa 844.
Iowa 844. It hasn't been 8 much to speak of at all here. Number 3, what's another name for this Iowa 844?
Royal George.
Number 3, maybe you could tell us the name of another breed of corn.
Well, the one most popular with people is Country Gentleman. That's the white eating corn.
Thank you. Number 2?
Peggy.
Number 2, why is this corn so all dried out?
Well, it's been on exhibition, as you may know, and the heat and the traveling that it's done has dried it out. Normally, it isn't that way.
Thank you. Number 3, why does this corn have a hole in it there?
That's a sample they took out.
Oh, I see.
Show the sample.
Number 2, what is Henry Wallace's specialty in corn?
He grew it.
And number 1, what is the type of corn that he grew? It's called a special name.
I don't know.
Number 2?
I really don't know.
Oh, well. Could you please, number 3, what is Golden Bantam?
Golden Bantam's a sweet corn.
Johnny.
Number 1, what does the name DeKalb mean to you?
Sure.
What does the name DeKalb mean? DeKalb.
DeKalb?
Mm-hmm.
That is a trade name for seed corn.
Is it hybrid?
Yes.
Can you give me the names of 2 other hybrid corns? Number 2? Number 3?
Could you repeat that question, please?
Can you give me the names of 2 other hybrid corns?
Hybrid corn.
Hybrid corns.
I'm sorry, I don't...
Number 2, what's the parity on corn right now?
97.
Number 1, what's the parity on corn?
97.
All right, Betty. Would you, one of you pass the ears down to Betty in case you would like to examine it while she's questioning?
It's delicious. Thank you. Number 1, what kind of corn is used for popcorn?
It's a separate breed of corn.
Number 2, what kind of corn is used for popcorn?
It's a separate growth of corn. It's shorter. The kernels are smaller usually. It can be either white or yellow.
Number 3, what is trefoil?
3D4?
Trefoil.
Trefoil.
Trefoil. Well, that is the coverage we use on our stalks.
Well, I guess that's it. So take a bite of the corn, munch it a bit, and get ready to mark your ballots, if you will, please, panel. And, of course, as you do so, do it without consultation. And select number 1, number 2, or number 3. As usual, our team of challengers will get $250 for every incorrect vote. Oh, are we all set? All ballots marked? Tom, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay, for whom did you vote?
I voted for number 1. He looks like a fella who enjoys... And I think it's number 1.
Peggy, which one did you choose?
I voted for number 1 because he seems corn-fed, and if he knows where the... If he's right about the cow, then he's this.
And Johnny.
Do you know about the cow,
No.
too?
You're selected.
I voted for number 1 also. We're probably all going to end up wrong tonight, but because of the cow, mainly.
Uh-huh. And Betty.
Does anybody have any racer? I voted for number 2. I did on the strength of that. I should vote for Johnny. He's of Iowa over here, knows an awful lot more about corn than I do, but she knew parity and she knew all the other things. She didn't know the hybrids, so then neither did I.
Right, away we go now. We've got our votes in. We've got our reasons for voting the way we did. So we're about to find out right now which one of these 3 persons is the real champion corn grower. So, will the real Marion Shearer please stand up?
No, it's not.
Thank you, sir. You have to admit, pal, he's a pretty prize ear on his own there, isn't he, huh? Well, let's find out about the others. Number 2, would you tell us your real name and what you really do?
My name is Mary Mackin, and I'm the Director of Volunteer Services for the National Association for Mental Health.
Thank you. And last but not least, number 3, your real name and what do you do, sir?
Well, my name is John Donovan. I'm a private investigator for the Shields Detective Bureau.
Yeah. All right. Well, you gave us a lot of fun here tonight, and we check on the score. We find out that there was only 1 incorrect vote, unfortunately. The panel was real hep on this one.
Thanks
And,
a lot, bud.
I'd say the panel, exclusive of Betty, was real hep on this one. But that's $250 from Salem Cigarettes and a carton of Salem's for each of you. We thank you very much for contributing so generously to the to the good humor of our evening. Good night, and God bless you. Look at a couple who have found the secret of springtime. I'd just like to take a moment to point out that we have a new member of the panel. And we're trusting that said new member will stay right where she is throughout this next round. May I introduce our next team of challengers to you, panel?
What is your name, please?
My name is Blanche Saunders.
My name is Blanche Saunders. My name is Blanche Saunders.
Follow along with your copies of this affidavit, if you will, please, panel. And you, too. I, Blanche Saunders, am an authority in dog obedience training. I have written 7 books on the subject and have traveled the country from Alaska to Florida, giving clinics and judging obedience events in dog shows. In the New York area alone, I trained some 17,000 owners in dog obedience procedures for the ASPCA. On the stage now, you see one of my standard poodles. She will not budge from her spot until I give her the proper command. Signed, Blanche Saunders. All right, ladies, are you quite comfortable?
Quite.
All right, panel, you heard them all, claiming to be Blanche Saunders, Dog Obedience Authority. Let us begin this round of questioning with Johnny Carson. Johnny?
Miss Saunders, number 1. Where does the breed of dog Weimaraner come from? The Weimaraner.
That from Germany.
From where, excuse me?
Germany.
Number 2?
From Weimar.
Weimar, Germany.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, how do you house train a dog or house break a dog?
Having a problem?
Oh.
Yes.
By confining them mostly, so they can't run around the house.
Confine them. She won't move, number 1, till you call her?
That's right.
Number 2, if you call her, would she come to you?
That's right.
Betty?
Thank you, Bud. Number 1, how long is the long down?
for 3 minutes.
Number 2, what does CDX stand for?
Companion dog, excellent.
Number 3, what are the 3 degrees of obedience training?
CD, CDX, and UD.
And number 1, what does UD testing consist of?
Utility dog.
What does the testing consist
It's
of?
a scent discrimination test and a jumping test and a test of sitting and downing and all the different tests around.
Number 2, how do they judge how high to make a dog jump in ratio to his own size or her own size?
Well, it has to be twice the size of the particular dog.
Tom.
Gee, that was amazing questioning. She sounded like Donna Michi. She really was nailing it.
I'm part dog.
Number 2, are dogs identifiable?
Identifiable by sight, they are. By what do you mean?
Well, by positive identification. In other words, any group of 10 dogs, say, could you pick out yours if you hadn't seen it for a long time? Is there a way of identifying a dog positively?
Oh, yes. You as an individual owner would know your own dog, I'm sure.
That wasn't really what I had in mind. Number 3, do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't.
Number 1, are dogs identifiable positively?
Well, they all have their own characteristics, if that's what you mean.
Peggy.
Number 2, could you tell me what is a puppy clip?
A puppy clip, it has, it's very similar to this clip here. It doesn't have the saddle. You're talking about poodles, that is?
Yes.
Yes. It doesn't have the saddle. It has a little fuller leg, the leg of mutton's sleeves, so to speak.
Number 3, could you tell me what is the period of quarantine in Hawaii?
4 months.
Number 1, could you please tell me, is an apricot poodle allowed to be shown in France?
I couldn't answer that one.
Number 2.
That's all the time we have, I'm sorry to say. Time is up for questioning. Time is ready now for balloting. So will you kindly do so? Get your pristine ballots and make them unpristine by recording your votes thereon. Without consultation, will you vote now for number 1, number 2, or number 3? And Johnny, for your information, no votes for the dog will count. Everybody set? All ballots marked? Okay, Tom, for whom did you vote this time?
Well, she's simply beautiful dog, and yes, she's glorious, and I envy her owner. I tell you, I have to confess that I may have cheated. I don't know. When they were standing up on the top, this dog wouldn't take her eyes off number 3, right? And in addition to that, number 3 did seem to answer the questions, all except mine. Nobody knew mine.
Peggy.
Well, I voted for number 3 because I don't think you can show an apricot-colored poodle in France. I think they have to be either brown, black, or white.
Johnny.
You're absolutely right. I tried it once, and I wouldn't take it. Almost for the same reason Tom did, except I was watching the dog when the ladies were talking, and I watched the dog's reaction to the voice. And that's why I voted for number 1.
And Betty, which one do you think is the real one?
Well, I voted for number 3. Not only are these 3 ladies so beautifully briefed, but this dog is, too. I watched, and I guess I didn't watch her soon enough, Tom. She was playing it cozy with all 3 of them. But number 3 never looked at her, and I think she was trying to fool us.
All right, there we have it now. 3 for 3 again, and 1 for 1. This time it's Johnny who's playing the isolationist. So we'll see how right or wrong. Right now, the votes are all in. And I can think of no better way, actually, to pick out the real Blanche Saunders than to have the dog do it. Do you agree with me, panel?
Oh,
yes. All right. Would you ladies all get up and come around in front of your desks, please? Now, will the real Blanche Saunders please call her dog?
Here, Muggsy. Here, Muggsy.
Yeah, go.
Nina.
Go, dog.
Nina, come. Robin, come.
Miss Saunders, before you go back and resume your seat, I wonder if you would give us a little sort of a brief version of dog obedience and training?
She's so sweet. Look at that dog.
She's gorgeous.
Good dog.
It's a beautiful animal. Yes, Johnny?
The dog did everything right but go to number 1.
All right, let's find out right now about number 1 and who she is and what you really do. Would you tell us?
My name is Ann Jewett, and I'm the mother of 4 children and a secretary.
One little brief question that occurs to me. Your children obey as well as that dog does?
I wish they did, yes.
Number 2, would you tell us your real name and what you do, please?
My name is Arlene Saunders, no relation to Blanche Saunders, and I'm a soprano with the New York City Opera Company.
Well, our panel is a smart one tonight, I'll tell you. Real smart. That's the second time. 3 of them voted correctly, only 1 incorrectly, and that means, of course, $250 from Salem, but you, of course, get as an additional gift, not only our thanks, but a carton of Salem cigarettes for each of you. And we do thank you very much for being with us, and thank you for that wonderful exhibition of obedience for the dog. Thank you so much. Good night. Now we're going to change the subject for just a moment, because I want you to see one of the prettiest picnic spots anywhere. Present our 3rd team of challengers.
What is your name, please?
My name is Mario Biaggi. My name is Mario Biaggi.
My name is Mario Biaggi.
All right, panel, you've had a look. Will you now follow along by looking at the affidavit, of your copy at least, and follow along with mine? I, Lieutenant Mario Biaggi, am one of the most decorated members of the New York City Police Department. I hold 27 citations and other awards, including the Medal of Honor, the highest decoration the department can give. Last fall, I became the first member of the New York City force to be elected to the National Police Hall of Fame by the National Police Officers Association. I was also named the country's outstanding policeman for the year 1961. Signed, Mario Biaggi. All set and comfortable, gentlemen? All right, you heard, panel. Each of these 3 stalwarts claimed to be Mario Biaggi, a pretty fine policeman, as I think you must agree. Outstanding policeman 1961. And we'll start this round, I think, with our own particular copper, Peggy Cass.
I don't know anything about the police. Lucky. Number 3, a former police commissioner of New York went on to be president of the United States. Who is that, please?
That was Theodore Roosevelt.
Number 2, recently there was a program called The Diary of a Bookie Joint, and policemen were shown going into this. In what city did that take place?
The city of Boston.
Number 1, who is the commissioner of police of New York?
Mr. Michael Murphy.
Number 2, where is the Tombs?
Down below Canal Street.
Number 3, on what street is the women's detention home?
That's on 8th Street.
On 8th Street. Thank you.
Johnny.
You going back for homecoming or something? Lieutenant number 1, you're actually doing a little moonlighting being here tonight, aren't you? Do the job. How long must a rookie serve before he becomes a police officer in New York City? What is the length at the academy?
3 months. 3 months.
3 months. Number 3, do you believe police officers are underpaid?
Yes.
That must be him, huh? Number 2, what is the present complement? How many officers in the New York Police Department?
The quota is 24,000. At the present time, it's 22,000.
22,000 at the present time. What is, number 1, what is the pay for a lieutenant in the New York Police Department?
About $8,500.
$8,500.
Betty.
Thank you, Bud. Number 2, for what did you receive your Medal of Honor?
A holdup of a liquor store, a gunfight with the stick-up man. I was wounded and he was killed.
Number 3, is that how you won your Medal of Honor?
No, I had a gun battle with 3 men, but it wasn't with, in a robbery of any kind. I killed 2 and wounded 1, and I was wounded.
Number 1, would you like to tell me your story?
I killed a stick-up man in an automobile. I was wounded when we exchanged shots.
Well, whichever one of you it is, whichever one of those stories is true, you're a very brave man. Number 2, how many other policemen are in the Hall of Fame? You're the first New York policeman, but how many other police?
56.
Thank you.
Tom.
Thank you, Bud. One of the great institutions in our country, gentlemen, is the policeman's ball. Number 3, do we have a policeman's ball in New York?
I won't answer that, if possible.
Sure, Copper, that's all right. Number 2, what's a come-along?
Come along? I don't know.
Number 3, do you happen to know what a come-along is?
No, I don't, sir.
Number 1, you familiar with that term?
Unless you mean nippers, but I never heard the
Come along is what you wear around your stomach with tuxedo, isn't it?
Well, maybe I'll ask it this way. Number 2, what is that chain with a
That is called the nippers.
That's called a nippers. Thank you.
And that's called the signal. It tells us that all questioning is over and you have to rest on your own particular manacles and see what you do about voting. So kindly do so without consultation right now and vote as you do for number 1, number 2, or number 3.
See, I'm really confused now.
You want to vote, Tom?
I'm so confused now. I just...
Vote.
All right, one
get out and vote.
If you will, please.
No electioneering, please.
Okay. For whom did you vote this time?
He at least knew that there was maybe such a thing as a come-along. That's what they're called, you know. You put them around a guy's wrist, twist him a little bit, and say, come along, you.
Where do you get those, Tom?
I've got these scars here.
I voted for number 2 because I don't think you get 27 citations overnight.
You look for maturity, I see. Johnny, what about your selection?
Well, I don't know which of the gentlemen it is, but whichever one it is, I think it's a tremendous job, and I'm very, very proud of him, and I say that because I'm double parked.
Betty, your vote.
Number 3 can refuse to answer a question. I can refuse to vote. I am thoroughly confused. I voted for number 3 on the strength of the fact that he did have the courage to refuse to answer, and I think he has to be a policeman to do that. Because I'm chicken.
All right, there we have it now. They're all split up this time. We have 2 for number 2, 1 for 1, and 1 for 3, and we find out now who's right and who's wrong. As we learn which one of these gentlemen is the real outstanding policeman of 1961. So will the real Mario Biaggi please stand up? What's the matter, John?
I think it's, we're proud of you. Very proud of you, indeed. I'd like to know why number 3 didn't answer about the policeman's ball.
You caught me unaware.
No, didn't say this out he could. I'd like to say that not only for this gentleman here, who has certainly piled up an enviable record and a wonderful one, I would also like to say that he's on leave at the moment from the New York City Police Department. Isn't that right, sir?
Yes, it is, Bud.
And what is the reason for that? I think you're attending law school.
I am attending law school and completing my 2nd year, as a matter of fact, but the reason for the leave is I was recently appointed by the governor of New York State, Nelson Rockefeller, to serve in the Division of Housing and Urban Renewal as a community relations specialist.
That's wonderful. We're mighty proud of you, believe me. I would also like to send our thanks to Dean Gutman of the New York Law School for his graciousness in letting you have time off to be with us tonight. I know it's valuable time to you. Let's find out about these other 2 gentlemen. Number 2, you got the most votes. What is your real name and what do you really do?
My name is Dom DeSanto. I'm the general manager for Whitey Ford and Rocky Graziano's bowling centers, one in Smithtown and one in Babylon, Long Island.
Thank you, sir. And number 3, your real name and what you do, please.
My name is Al Mercanti, and I'm a merchandising executive with Maxon Advertising Agency.
Well, you're giving us a good time tonight, and may I say that no matter what pay a policeman gets, it would be underpaid no matter anybody who puts his life on the line for every one of us every time he goes out there. Checking the score, we find there was only 1 correct and 3 incorrect this time for a total of $750 from Salem Cigarettes, as well as a carton of Salem's, of course, for each of you. Thanks again, gentlemen. Good night. God bless you. Good night, panel.
Good night.
And tell the truth.
To Tell the Truth is a Mark Butch and Bill Todman production.
The name in our mailbox is Porter.
To our friends, we're Pete and Gladys.
And we're at home next on most of these stations.
Drop in.
To Tell the Truth has been brought to you tonight by Salem, the cigarette that refreshes your taste. Johnny Olson saying good night, for To Tell the Truth, this program was pre-recorded.